It's Friday, June the 14th, 2019, and let's have a little bit of real talk. And we're going to call this one Foundations. Now, I work for a concrete company, completely in a man's world, but you know what? Let me tell you, it seems like, you know, everyone wants you to believe that everything is a man's world. Well, not all the time. Not all the time. You know, we women, when we remember who we are, it's a game changer. Okay, remember who you are, and it is a game changer. Okay, and that's important. It's important to know that. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, but let's talk about foundations today. Okay, everything is built on a foundation. Apartments, hotels, office buildings, single family homes, restaurants. Most importantly, relationships. Relationships are built on a foundation. When you're born, your family starts building a foundation with you. From the minute you come out of your mother's uterus, every single day, build, build, build. You just never stop building. I'm still building with my kids. Sometimes some of those walls come tumbling down. I got to start rebuilding again. It's just a cycle of life, and there's foundations. There's things that affect foundations, and from a construction standpoint, you have loads from the building, the type of soil, the type of structure in the neighborhood, a type of foundation. The actual foundation itself. What's it built out of? Let's just go ahead and let's change that from a construction perspective to a relationship perspective. Now, it's funny. You might know me personally, okay? And you probably look at me going, Carla, seriously? You can't maintain a relationship. How can you talk about relationships? Well, I can talk about relationships because I can't maintain one. I am in one right now, and and it has its moments, but it is what it is. Um, and I've seen the ins and outs of relationships, more outs than ins, unfortunately. And you know what? That makes me qualified to talk about relationships. So let's get back to the perspectives of taking the construction and turning it into a relationship foundation. Loads from the building. What type of weight is it holding? Is the weight on your foundation, on your building, is it built with stress and lies, or is there peace and love? Is there constant chaos, constant turmoil, um, trust? If you don't have trust, you don't have anything. I'm sorry, but that's just the minute you lose trust, you just lost it all. I don't care if you've been together 10 minutes, 10 weeks, 10 years. The minute trust walks out that door, so does that relationship. Okay? So, what kind of stress are you going to put into the building that's going to be sitting on the foundation that you're building? What type of soil? Meaning, what kind of effort are you putting into this relationship? Are you putting in the same effort every single day that you started out doing? Or did you just do enough or do too much to catch his or her attention and, oh, I got what I wanted. I don't have to do anymore. No, wrong. You need to keep putting in that effort. You need to keep tilling that soil. You need to keep it fresh. It's important. Keep it fresh constantly. What type of structure is in the neighborhood? Okay, who's in your circle? Who is whispering in your ear? Okay. First of all, ladies and men, let me tell you something. You got to know who you are. You need to know what you're capable of. You need to know what you bring to the table. Okay? You don't really need anyone whispering in your ear, giving you positives or negatives about someone. You need to be whispering in your own ear. Okay? And if you are a man of God or a woman of God, then you have Jesus whispering in your ear. And men, I have a tip for you on that here in a couple of seconds or minutes or however long it takes me to get to that point of my thing here. So, um, you know, you need to know who's in your circle. It, it's so important. So, so important. Because your circle can tear apart your building in a heartbeat, an absolute heartbeat. You yourself could be the destroyer of your own building. Okay. Um, Relationships are funny. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and talking to him about the relationship that I'm in, and my guy and I were pretty deep into each other, but there are some things that, sure, you know, I've got some questions on, or things just aren't adding up. One plus one is looking like three, and just not meshing. And I'm talking about it with my friend, and he said to me, Carla, stop. You haven't been together barely 60 days. This is still new. Okay, he's right. It is. He says, and I said, but what does that have to do with anything? I mean, new or not, we are where we are in the relationship. We're into it like we've been in it for 6 months. So why does that matter? He said, well, it matters a lot. Because in the first 2 months, neither of you probably have all the cards on the table. Okay, I can maybe see that. We've both been hurt from other angles. So, I guess in the first 2 months, there's this unspoken thing about immunity, I guess. I don't know. But okay, so I'm thinking, all right, well, if Henry were to come to me and say, hey, babe, listen, I wasn't so honest about this other thing, and, you know, this is what's going on. Uh, let's say, I don't know, let's say all of a sudden he told me that, because I've never been to his place, I've never been to his apartment. Let's just say all of a sudden that I learned that, his ex girlfriend, ex fiance, or, whatever she is, really does still live there. When he told me that she didn't, how would I feel about that? Um, you know, at first I would probably be a little bit upset because he would have lied to me about it. But if I learn about it, I guess, before that 2 months hits next week, um, and if I feel like there's nothing between the two of them and they're only in the same situation because neither of them can get out of it individually, until maybe the lease is up or they both have the money, to live on their own. I don't know. Um, it goes down to communication. I guess it really depends on how it's communicated. At this point, um, you know, we're not engaged, we're not married. He doesn't own me, I don't own him. He doesn't owe me anything, and vice versa. So, I would have to be trusting and accepting of whatever the information is that, he chooses to share with me. And I have to, you know, get to that part. And, women who are secure in themselves. I'm pretty secure in myself. I know what I bring to the table. And if a woman knows what she brings to the table and she knows how she can make the man in her life happy, then she's got nothing to worry about. If he chooses to play her or to leave her and go a different direction, that's not her fault. That's, or not her problem. That's his loss. And that's the way I look at it for myself, honestly. That is his loss. If Henry decided to do that, as much as I love that man, and as much as I am in love with him, and so fast. I mean, everything happens so fast. We have the best chemistry. We can sit and talk for hours, and that's what I've always wanted, is somebody who I can just really communicate with, openly. I would like to think that we've been open about everything, but you know what? My friend is right. There are some things that maybe you're not always open about. And you got to be okay with that. And at this point of the game, yeah, I would be okay with it if he came to me and said, hey, listen, um, you know, I'm sorry, I wasn't honest. She does still live in the apartment. Um, I would be okay with it. I probably wouldn't like it at first, but I would listen and I would do my best to understand. So that has a lot to do with the walls, about how solid is the groundwork that you're laying, and are your walls just as strong? That has a lot, the communication you have between the two of you. You got to make your walls strong. They can't be built on lies. They cannot be built on false hope. They cannot be built on, leading a person on. And men, here's a tip for you men. If you're dating a Christian woman, and I don't mean just a woman who just goes to church every Sunday, I mean a woman who is talking to God 5, 6 times a day. And, she's having conversations with God because she's telling you. She's saying, hey, I'm praying about this. And she's got a lot of faith and she never worries. You never see her stressing over anything. That is a woman who has God right there next to her. And the biggest thing I can tell you, men, is don't lie to her. Do not ever lie to her. Okay? Because here's what happens with a woman of God. It could just be random. It could just happen out of the blue. It could happen so unexpectedly. But Jesus is whispering in that woman's ear. And he's not just directing her feet, he is whispering your truth into her ear. So if she is asking you a question all of a sudden and it just seems kind of off the wall, kind of bizarre, or you're thinking, I've already answered that question. Why is she asking me again? Fellas, she's asking you not for the answer. She doesn't want the answer. And you're asking yourself, why doesn't she want the answer? Because she already has the answer, okay? She wants the truth. She is asking you to, and I don't want to say test you necessarily, but okay, testing you. Are you going to tell her the truth? Are you going to just come out with it? I mean, me personally, hurt me with the truth, okay? I would rather you tell me the truth to my face or on the phone or however you're comfortable telling me that. Don't text it to me. However you're comfortable telling me the truth, that's how you need to tell it to me. And let me deal with it, okay? Because 2, 3, 4 months down the road, I do not want to find out the truth and then I've been told a lie. Because at that point, trust just walked out the door, and so did our relationship. So the quicker you can catch it, the quicker that you can turn that baby around, the better you can save that relationship if that's what you want to do. But if you're just in it to win it or whatever, leave the woman alone, okay? Do not make a woman fall if you have no intention of catching her, okay? And if you have no intentions of catching a woman as she's falling, get out of the way so someone else can. That's the best thing you could do for her, okay? My other tip for you, and probably that was my other tip, was don't make a woman fall for you if you're not going to catch her. It's not fair. It really isn't. We're strong, but we are easily broken, okay? And just be aware. Jesus counts our tears, okay? And it's a hefty price to be paid every time you make a woman cry, all right? So keep that in mind. Now, ladies, quit making excuses for your man, okay? Listen to him, love him, but most importantly, hear what he is not saying. Watch his actions. Either the actions and the words will match or they're not. There's no in between with that. They either match, the walk matches the talk, or it doesn't. It's really that simple. Okay? Women, you know what you bring to the table. All right? Remember who you are. Remember. That's the most important thing. Remember who you are. You are a woman of God. You are a warrior, okay? Men, you are also warriors. You are a man of God. You men need to remember who you are. And together, you could create the most beautiful power couple, men and women alike. And it's just amazing. It is amazing that when you can, work together hand in hand, and you can communicate and you can live, and you're not always wondering, oh, is she going to throw this back in my face, or is he going to throw that back in my face? Quit it. Quit it. Build your foundation. Get some strong walls, okay? And just keep building. And if you got to get out some caulk or some crack filler every now and again, you're human. It happens. But get it out fast. Do not let it linger. Do not let it drag on, because trust and believe. Oh, trust and believe that whatever happens in the dark, it'll come out in the light. And when that happens, it's not when you're ready for it. It happens at the most inopportune times. It really, really does. And it hurts more when that happens. So make sure that you're the one turning the lights on and that it's not somebody else. So build your foundations, make them true, make them honest, make them pure, and love. Just simply love unconditionally. And you will get so much more in return. But definitely, it's a game changer when you remember who you are. And that's important. Be secure, be top notch, and just live. Just wake up every day and live. That's all you got to do. That's it. It seems so simple, but it's harder than hell, okay? And I get that. But just know that everything you give, you do get back. It might take a little while, but you do. Be it positive or negative, you get it back. So, be a game changer. Be the one who turns the lights on. And you'll always have everything you need. Friends, I love you. I hope you've gotten something out of this. And we'll talk soon.